with all the things that I've seen. I ain't ever seen no demons, no ghosts, no magic. Till now.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, Ryan Coogler, the decorated filmmaker behind Creed and Black Panther, is bringing us a new vision of horror full of vampires, music, and folklore in Sinners. After time spent on the front lines of World War I and then handling business in Chicago, the Moore twins, better known as Smoke and Stack, have returned to their homestead in Mississippi. And now they're back, they waste no time hanging around and getting business going, and are moving full steam ahead with launching their very own juke joint for the local black community. Whilst the evening starts out as intended, the hosts and attendees soon discover that hell is unleashed as some unwelcome visitors make their presence known. Ryan Coogler has spent the last decade cementing himself as a very, very talented filmmaker, but also as an excellent storyteller. He often writes most of the movies he directs. And when it comes to Sinners, this is by far his most unique project to date. Blending themes of Jim Crow's America, racial segregation, music, folklore, and the odd occasional vampiric splatter as well, on paper, that might sound like a mess. But the end result, however, well, not only would I argue that Sinners is Ryan Coogler's best film to date, Sinners is the best film I have seen in years. This is the prime example of an original cinematic experience, something that audiences will have never seen before. The story in concept is wholly unique, but then that is accentuated by Coogler's visionary level direction. Quite frankly, Ryan Coogler is operating on an entirely different level in this film. We've seen him hit home runs before. Creed, Black Panther, they are all fantastic films, but they are tasters in comparison to Sinners. This really is his magnum opus. Coming in at a respectable 140 minutes, Sinners isn't in that much of a rush to start off with. In fact, it's about an hour before the vampires even show up. It spends that opening hour really fleshing our characters out. Coogler is taking considerable care to explore this world that our characters are inhabiting. In fact, by the time the vampires do show up, I was almost a little disheartened because it meant that, okay, we're not going to be as focused on exploring this world and characters. Michael B. Jordan is pulling double duty for this film, as seems to be almost every other actor working in Hollywood today. As Smoke and Stack, Jordan clearly distinguishes two contrasting personalities to help differentiate the twins. Smoke is unflappable and steadfast in his determination of building a successful business. Stack, on the other hand, is the type of guy who relies on his immense charm and likability to aid him through life. Jordan is great in the dual role, as he always is whenever he and Coogler team up. Joining Coogler and Jordan to fill the rest of the immense ensemble is an abundance of talent. Miles Caton is terrific in what I believe is his debut role. He's fantastic as Sammy. Hailee Steinfeld shows off a side to her we have yet to see before, and she excels in it. Delroy Lindo gets yet another reminder why he's one of the greatest actors walking on the planet today. Jack O'Connell is dialing up the creep levels to maximum, and Wunmi Mosaku, in my opinion, is one of the film's highlights, capturing the story's heart. As far as horror movies go, Sinners is so much more than that. It's just an amalgam of so many different ideas. It is very clear to me, though, that Ryan Coogler is having so much fun playing in this vampire-toothed sandbox. He adheres to many of the vampiric touchstones, such as being invited in somewhere, an aversion to garlic and silver, but each point always has a Coogler spin on it. I won't go so far as to say that Sinners completely reinvents the vampire movie, but it does more than enough to ensure that it can stand out from the crowd. One aspect of which I can guarantee will be mentioned on every review you either watch, listen to, or read is Ludwig Göransson's score. And rightly so, because the music featured in Sinners is so much more than just a score or a soundtrack. The music in Sinners is a beating entity. Each track has its own distinctive soul and purpose for the story. Göransson blends hearty blues music with a Wild West twang, and there are a bunch of sequences set within the juke joint where the music just fills your cinema speakers, and in those moments you are transported to the middle of that juke joint. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is going to be one of the best scores of the year. And now I'm about to get very nerdy because I'm going to talk about seeing this film in IMAX, because Ryan Coogler has been very vocal about how he shot this film on IMAX 70mm film. And both he and his cinematographer, Autumn Durald Akapor, I'm really sorry that I had to read your name off of my notes there, but the two of them deserve every bit of credit possible. First and foremost, the film is just beautiful to behold. The vast, luscious landscape of the Mississippi Delta, the saucy, enticing dance floor of the juke joint, but it's how Coogler utilizes the benefits of shooting with IMAX that completely blew me away. I'm a sucker for any time an IMAX film blows up to that massive 190 aspect ratio. It hits so perfectly sometimes. But what gets my gears ticking even more is when there is a gradual shift, a gradual change in that aspect ratio. I remember first seeing it in The Hunger Games Catching Fire, when Katniss Everdeen first enters the arena, but that was soon dethroned by Mission Impossible Fallout, as Tom Cruise prepares for his Halo jump. Sinners has not one, but two instances of that IMAX aspect ratio change that had my hair standing on the back of my neck. I felt like I was levitating at one point. It's such a perfect use of that format. You can tell Ryan Coogler understands it so intrinsically. This might be one of the best films that I have seen in IMAX. And that's saying some, because I've seen some IMAX classics. The purpose of that IMAX aspect ratio change is to alert audiences that they are aware that shit is about to ascend to the next level. The first instance of this precedes the film's standout sequence. There's no vampires, there's no action, there's no bloodshed. It is just a celebration of music, past, present, future. It is such an audacious swing by Coogler. And I do think that in the hands of any other director, it wouldn't be anywhere near as effective. But I was left speechless. I was transfixed on that screen. The massive IMAX picture that I had in front of me, the dazzling wonder through the juke joint, music just filling your entire ear. That is a cinematic moment that I don't think Coogler is ever going to be able to top, and if he does, fair play to him. It's something that's going to be destined to be beloved by film students and all. No joke, it's going to be in my top 3 cinematic moments of the year. And if it's not, then by Christ, we have had an incredible year. At the time of recording, 2025, I don't think has been the strongest year for new releases. However, Sinners has not only emerged as a standout, but is well on its way to be heralded as a genre classic. As a horror, it's suitably grisly and features plenty of vampire fun, but Coogler's vision is infinitely more than this. It's a true cinematic spectacle from a director who has crafted a wholly original story and executes it like a master of his craft. The entire ensemble are fantastic, and Ludwig Göransson's music is a character in itself. And to add to the cherry on top, Sinners has to be experienced in IMAX to truly appreciate the level of Ryan Coogler's genius. It's worth noting as well that there are 2 post-credit scenes. Both are worth sticking around for. One in particular serves as a very poignant epilogue to the story. Now, I haven't given one of these in, at least at the time of recording, 3 years. So this is a big one. This is deserving. Sinners gets a 10 out of 10.
That's what I'm talking about!
why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I think the last film I gave this to was Everything Everywhere All at Once. So there's been a bit of a gap. But yeah, please go out and see this film. Go out and support this film. And if you can, go out and see this film in IMAX. It is worth every penny. So those were my thoughts on Sinners. Let me know, have you had a chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And my question to you, I said that Sinners was the best IMAX experience that I think I've had. But what's yours? What is the best film that you have seen in IMAX? But this is all the time we have for today. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button. And if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.